Welcome, everyone, and welcome to Mega Life 21 Live. I am your host, James P. Madonna of Mega Life 21 and Progressive Discussions and the Facebook group, the International Brotherhood of Polivons. And this is a sports and physical fitness oriented show. And I am here with my very special guest, and you know him well as my co-host, natural uh, power, a competitive power lifter, kettlebell sport, and circular strength trainer extraordinaire, the Commodore Jeff Zambello. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for the introduction, but I'm a drug-free power lifter, and I do those other activities to enhance my drug-free powerlifting. And I got to say drug-free because the sport that I'm in is a very dirty cheaters sport for people who like to, let's say, squat 700 or 800 pounds or bench press like 500 or 600 pounds, when they really have skinny fingers, they're light boned, but for some reason they're pushing all these heavy weights. It's not natural, and so. But that's okay because they won't get any visits at the hospital from the drug-free power lifters because they got their glory falsely, and all their pictures taken when they, when they showed how great they were compared to natural power lifters.
Right.
Who paid their dues over the decades. I'll give an example, James, and this builds into the discussions we're going to have tonight.
Right.
I've been powerlifting competitively since about, let's say, 1989. And 2013 was my first time that I qualified for it, on and off through the decades. That was many, many, many years. And the main thing about drug-free powerlifting is rehabilitation, recovery, programming, timing, getting past life events, all the stresses, the overtime hours, the kids being born, the marriages, the night school so you can get master's degrees or whatever, or it's a lifetime commitment, lifestyle. It's a lifetime of love, true love for the sport, not the quick fix. We call the guys that actually go into the world championships that go for 1 or 2 years, we call them flashes in the pan because their heart was really never into it. And but they don't last. They always get hurt and they quit or whatever. So anyways, I'm so happy to be part of this discussion tonight, James. Hopefully everybody can understand me with this Boston accent. I'm trying to talk a little slower for those that aren't from the sophisticated and highly intellectual northeast corridor of the United States. So anyways,
well,
for all those other people that have pie in the sky dreams, let's get back to reality. So anyways, I guess there's a lot of flash in the pans that are trying to make a quick buck. These aren't people that have great credentials. They never went to graduate school. They don't have undergraduate degrees in kinesiology. They were never even high school wrestling coaches. Maybe they were high school athletes, or maybe but they never were paid coaches. They're enthusiasts. Like I'm an enthusiast, like in kettlebell sport, mace lifting, wooden clubs, Persian meals. I'm an enthusiast. I do a few little push-ups on the floor and all these other little cute things. And but that's not where the big boys roam, so to speak. Like Ken Thiessen is a big boy. Ken Thiessen is a man with credentials because he actually went into a ring with other fellow warriors that wanted to rip Ken Thiessen's head off his shoulders. But Ken Thiessen had enough guts and courage and a lifetime commitment of training and acquiring skills. These skills are not acquired on a weekend seminar. Seminar as in sperm. Because that's what it really is a bunch of dribble, like from your cock. Sorry to be so, visual,
right.
But that's why it's called a seminar.
Seminar.
And but it's kind of funny. I was mentioning to James, there's a Peloton cycling commercial, and it shows a little television set on some bicycle that you can have in your living room. You put your little underwear on in the morning, and then you get on your little bicycle with your orange juice or your water or whatever. I don't believe in pre-workout bull crap with all that caffeine. I believe in if you like caffeine, get a cup of coffee. Everything should be old school. But how come Jack LaLanne could teach, on a television set, or the Peloton could have a little television set, and do it right from your living room? You don't need to travel 3,000 miles on your rich husband's, inheritance trust fund loot to go all over the country. And, it's an expensive workout is what it really is. And, have a picture taken and all this other stuff. And other people, getting, the plane rides to go to Europe, to Asia. You don't need to do that. You can have everything online. I'll give you an example. Now, in the 1990s, when I was studying for my CPA exam, Certified Public Accountant, in Massachusetts, we had online training from CPAs and tax lawyers from all over the United States. Now, I'm getting my third master's degree in divinity. Yes, I have a little foul mouth. I swear worse than a longshoreman, but I do have the Holy Spirit in my heart, and I try to help disadvantaged people. But I'm also like to call out these false prophets that are selling, their wares, their snake oil, to poor and unassuming people. Yuppies mainly, who probably work in Manhattan, New York. They have a couple extra bucks, whatever, and they'll travel. But I don't see why you can't have the, I got like a 6-part seminar or an 8-week seminar. I've done that. I learned the Mace it was beautiful on an 8-week program. It was beautiful. I really appreciated it. And it was weekly. It was on Monday nights, and I think I took it twice. The other one was on Tuesday nights. It was beautiful. And you'd be on there for about an hour and a half. And if you want to get, some private critique from the instructor, you just send a video of yourself doing the Mace. It was beautiful. And you get some pointers. And again, that was not flash in the pan. It was beautiful because it evolved. The athlete, student, actually evolved over time. Everything takes time. Anything worth anything in life takes time. If you want to become a medical doctor, that's 8 years of school. If you want to become a lawyer, that's 7 years of school. It's a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of time in the library when nobody's looking at you. I mean, it takes time. James, I'm sorry, but that's my introduction.
Well, I rather have someone that shoots straight from the hip. As far as divinity goes, I rather have honesty and integrity in someone who is brutally honest than to have someone with a big phony car dealer smile on his face, blowing sunshine up my ass, and who doesn't know scripture and doesn't really help anybody. I'd rather have somebody like you who is honest and sincere with integrity, and who, at times rough around the edges, but at least you're honest and you tell the truth. And I'd rather have that. Now, getting back to fitness, of course, people that cheat And young athletes, they think nothing of cheating, and just to break records and get their name in the book and get their medals and trophies. But they don't even care if there's a little asterisk at the bottom of um, their title, or like a baseball player who was caught on steroids, who claims, oh, I beat Hank Aaron's all-time home run record. Oh, I beat this one. I beat that one. You didn't beat anything. Those greats of the past were drug-free, clean athletes. Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Roger Maris, DiMaggio, all of them. Ted Williams, Stan Musial. These were real, natural athletes. So when some punk claims that they broke records and they cheated, oh yes, there should be an asterisk at the bottom. Now, getting back to the International Brotherhood of Polypies, I speak now for all the Zircones in Iran and the Akaras in India and the International Palavani Federation to say that I am appalled. I am absolutely appalled at certain individuals in the West, and I notice they come from the West, who are trying to exploit this ancient warrior physical fitness system that is a form of martial art, because they do train for grappling, for wrestling. This ancient form of martial art that they are exploiting for profit, and they have set themselves up as elitists. They behave like elitists. When you and I do live shows on Facebook, a couple of them, in a sneaky way, to be nosy, they enter the live show just to be nosy and listen in, but they don't contribute anything. They don't say a word. Then there are...
And we're not talking about Richard Army McGuire, because Richard Army McGuire has taken himself off of social media like Facebook, because people have stolen from him. He actually trains people from his heart because he comes from a martial arts background. And anyways, I sort of wish that these individuals who would, let's say, sign on, sign off, or clap on, clap off, would actually call us out, James. I wish somebody would say, you know what, James, Madonna, and Jeff Zambello, you are wrong. I wish, I say this humbly, I wish we were wrong about all these live shows that we're doing.
We're not.
But there is so much crookery, and it's in exploitation and false promises of untapped potential. I mean, I've been thinking about this, and what it is somebody somewhere has taken these like night school classes on a weekend someplace at some retreat and say, oh, you can market yourself, and I'm on a rising star and nobody can stop me. This goes for male and female. There's some sort of little energy in their asses, in their their buttocks, because I'm studying divinity. A hypocrite.
Hold on.
No, I'm not a hypocrite. I'm one of the taxpayers that the Pharisees wouldn't eat with. But anyways, I digress. I do drink beer. Yes, I do.
Let me give
I like girls. Okay. Anyways, full-figured girls. Anyways, I digress. So, which is why I lift weights. And any guy who says that they go to the gym to get healthy is lying. I am 53 going on 54, and I could tell you from personal experience, every man, not woman, every man in that gym is there to impress girls, whether they're 17 years old or 75.
Well, the girls are there with tons
100% for girls.
The girls are there with tons of makeup on and big earrings and nail polish. They're not there for hardcore training. They're there for attention, to get attention. I just want to say, A friend, Mr. John Anilli. Hey, James, just wanted to stop in and say hello. I'm about
and
to
the
watch.
text messaging on the bench press. Get off the bench press or out of the squat rack and take your text messaging in the woman's sauna or something.
Yes. All right. Let me say.
While you give yourself a Brazilian wax in the pubic area. But
let me give a greeting to Mr. Anilli. John Anilli says, "Hey James, just wanted to stop in and say hello. I'm about to watch some football. Cheers."
I'm watching football right now, muted. So tell him he could do the show and watch. I'm watching the Dallas Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints right now, right in front of me.
Well, John Anilli says, "What am I sipping on this evening?" It's Grant's Scotch whiskey, John Anilli. Grant's Scotch whiskey. Okay, I just wanted to give.
I'm sipping on some piss and vinegar because I am so irate at all this stealing and crookery that is going on, and this untapped potential. Like, I don't, for the life of me, I don't see why people need to travel halfway around the world for this stuff.
Well,
isn't that what television's for? Isn't that what live stream videos for? Again, I've taken CPA classes. I've taken seminary classes. I've taken certified public accounting classes along with the PricewaterhouseCoopers, the most successful accounting firm in the world. You want to talk about elite people? Try getting $600 an hour, okay, as a tax lawyer. Anyways, I digress. But they don't have to take an airplane every place and have interpreters and the best of food and Jeffrey's jealous. I'm not jealous. This is way over exploitation. Oh, but then someone might say, I have the answers for everything. Okay, so whatever these monkeys who do not defend themselves say, they'll say, oh, but people have a right to spend their money whatever way they want to spend it. Well, yes, it is necessary. If you want to compete in cannibal sport, you have to go to the competition. If you want to do powerlifting, if you want to do bicycle racing, you can't do a bicycle race from your living room. No, you have to actually go to Arizona or Canada or Texas or whatever to do a bicycle race. Or if you're going to run the Boston Marathon, 26 miles, you go to Massachusetts and you run the Boston Marathon. We're not talking about that, people. Anyways, or climb Mount Everest, you have to go to Nepal. Gee whiz Louise.
What I don't like is how they are disgracing the true meaning and humility and everything that goes with being a Palavan, to being any martial artist. Martial arts people have integrity. They're honest people. They're not greedy. They're not stingy. They have humility. And these individuals that we know from the United States and possibly Europe are exploiting this ancient warrior training. They are for profit. They're charging up to $1,000 a person for seminars that contain very little true education. They don't even teach the history of...
They don't do programming or anything. And as you and I did learn, we won't mention this person's name, but you'll know what I'm talking about. With this martial artist, this beautiful person who owns his own gym, who teaches a beautiful class, which I can't even say, we respect his anonymity, but he said what these carnival snake-o hucksters and infomercial pitchmen have is they hire computer web designers. So they have the fancy glossy bells and whistles with the little bullet points and, you know. But I guess, James, what's up my craw is that, how come some people keep their hands apart in a seminar, but then other people say you got to put your hands together? Other people do this, and it's like, well, what is it? I'm getting very confused here. Do you put your hands at your belly button? Do you put your hands at your sternum? Do you put your hands on your nuts? Like I'm not trying to make a joke of this. I'm serious.
Ever since a certain female started doing videos swinging the gata or the mace with hands apart, the men that are smitten by this female, mesmerized by this female,
I just say person, which we want to be respectful.
all of a sudden came out with a video where it's proper to swing a mace with the hands separated. No, you're supposed to keep the hands together, and if you're having a hard time with the mace, you can choke up on it, or you can swing a lighter mace is the right thing to do.
Can I ask a simple question, James?
Yeah, go ahead.
If there's a Major League Baseball player who makes $10 million a year,
right,
when they swing the bat, do they keep their hands together or apart? Now, let me ask a question. When somebody swings a hockey stick, are their hands together or apart? And we both know the answer because they're two different sports.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm confused.
No. They're supposed to. There's a proper, safe way to.
Golf. I've never seen a golfer keep his hands apart.
There's a proper, safe way to execute every sport. Every form of exercise has proper, safe form. We grew up learning how to do exercises that were not good for our shoulder joints.
Yeah.
And later on,
people that were on steroids on Joe Weider's magazine selling that soy protein that I guess
you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to, in reality, medically speaking, you're not supposed to do pull downs and presses behind the neck. That causes
absolutely not
shoulder joint, shoulder tendon impingement. You're not supposed to do upright rowing higher than chest level. Like you're not supposed to go up to your chin. That also causes impingement. Well,
major impingement.
Right.
And inflammation.
In regards to the mace or the gata, you're supposed to keep your hands together. If you're having a problem with perfect form in the mace gata, like Daniel Ramsey said, you simply choose a lighter mace. You pick up a lighter mace.
Yep.
Same thing with Indian clubs or Persian meals. You do it safely, but these people are charging a lot of money for seminars, and they're not even teaching the history of circular strength training or about these ancient tools.
But then somebody will say, but when you buy a cell phone, do you need to talk about Alexander Graham Bell? No, we're not talking about cell phones or telephones. We're talking about what these tools really are, and if you put it into context about somebody low crawling on their chest with a sword, or you're talking about prisoners in Persia who had to maintain their swordsman skills, they used wood, and if you see, even when we study the Bible, we have to learn the hermeneutics. So we put ourselves way back in time. Like the book of Revelation, for example, they didn't have helicopters back then with missiles. They didn't have tanks. But the imagery you could put, if you know the background of that period, it helps you learn what it is in today's context. So, anyways, again, that's why it's so important to learn the history and the purpose.
You're not charging people top dollar for a seminar on a friggin' telephone. You're giving people seminars on something they never heard of in their life, because all they've heard of is our machines, barbells and dumbbells, and other one-dimensional exercise apparatus. You're not teaching them about how to make a telephone call.
Even when Richard Army McGuire does his videos for free, I might add, he also says, okay, well, you could use this like when he does the Persian meals, he says, if you do it this way, this will help your striking for boxing. If you do it this way, it'll help your grappling for jiu-jitsu, et cetera, et cetera. And Richard Army McGuire puts everything into context.
Well, he was talking about generating power from the hips, or how to do everything properly, and the reason why you do it that way. It's not. I mean, that was a bad comparison. Is talk about Alexander Graham Bell, who did not invent the fucking telephone. An Italian invented the phone and didn't get credit for it. Okay, because he was off the boat and he had a heavy accent, so they gave Alexander.
Sort of like Mark Zuckerberg didn't really invent Facebook; he stole it from two people on a rowing team at Harvard University who actually sued him for $6 million years down the road. But I digress.
Look, just like the Bible, the Old Testament is a foundation for learning.
It's a foreshadow of the New Testament.
Right. The history and the foundation is in the Old Testament, so you need to know what sin is, how to define sin, all the stories.
What sacrifices from the high priest way back, when they had the temple. They don't need a temple anymore. Actually, there was a temple after Jesus Christ in the year 360 from a Roman emperor, but they had an earthquake, and it destroyed that temple that the Romans were trying to build in the year 360. So for those people who doubt this, go to Google, look up the year 360 temple in Israel.
Listen,
but you don't need that anymore.
The basics,
because Jesus came, and he is our sacrificial, his blood is our sacrifice. Anyways, I don't want to get all religious here.
The basics.
You need to know that ancient history behind so you understand the importance of everything.
You have to know the basics. You have to know the ancient history before you can understand what the fuck a Gada is. What is a Gada? What is a Persian meal? What is an Indian club?
It's sort of like being a martial artist and not knowing pressure points. And you have a stupid teacher that doesn't teach you which pressure points are, but they say, oh, just strike this, strike that. But if you know why you're doing something, the reason why how, then you'll be a better athlete.
They all come from the weapon mace, the clubs, the meals, the Gada. They all emanate from the weapon mace. This is a weapons grade, a blackthorn shillelagh from Ireland. It was used like a mace. There are many forms of maces. The Native American war club is a form of mace. You have to.
And I guess the Chinese people use something that's shaped like a hand. It's called a zhuao or something like that. Yeah. It's awesome.
Just like the stone lock is the father of the Russian kettlebell.
That's right.
The granite stone lock. But these people don't care about tradition and the history. They just care about making a fast buck.
And actually, that's 50% of the seminar. So the first 50% of a seminar, again, sperm for cock dribble. Dribble is, the stuff that comes out of the mouth. But anyways, is instruction. And then the last 50% is clearing out the gym of the people that do not own gyms, and that way they can network with those that own gyms so they can go to their state or their city for the next seminar and keep that engine going perpetually.
You're talking about the big Mamu.
Keep the engine going. Next one.
And they don't care. And a certain someone told an Indian gentleman who lives in the region where it all came from, he told him, I don't care about your monkey god Hanuman.
That's an abomination.
And this person thinks they're going to do a seminar in India someday.
But they'll make an olive branch. And I have a question for the wise and ancient copper divining rods. May I please?
Yes.
Indulge the copper divining rods for their wisdom.
And I already mentioned the a couple people that are interested in only making money, being sneaky and listening in on our live Facebook shows.
But there's nothing wrong with making money, but you can't be a crook either.
Yeah, but make an honest living. Don't charge people $600 to $1,000 a head and not teach them much. Now
listen, I've been to lots of seminars, like for powerlifting, like from Ed Cohn, from the president of the American Powerlifting Federation, who actually played football. His name is Gary Frank, and he'd be my age, so he'd be 53 going on 54.
Right.
He actually played NFL football. Okay, he played for the Atlanta Falcons. He played for the Denver Broncos. He played in the CFL for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And he get a full scholarship to Mississippi State. Now, he's a real athlete.
Right.
And he owns a gym in Louisiana now. He's from Wisconsin. But he does not charge anybody any money. He has all these kids in Baton Rouge. He lives in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Right.
And he has them come to his gym for free. Free. Because he wants to give back. He's got dozens of high school and college kids that train at his gym, and they go all over the United States, not out of the United States because of money situation, but within the United States for powerlifting competitions. And that way, it gives them something, goal setting. They know how to do programming. They respect. There's no foul language in his gym. There's total respect for men and women, the girls and the boys in the gym. They put all the weights away, and there's camaraderie. There's not competitiveness and back talking, because Gary told me he'll kick those kids right out of the gym.
Well, a lot of the gyms I worked in.
But all these little, infomercial pitchmen, and I use a long title, infomercial pitchmen, carnival snake oil hucksters, all hate each other. They really do. And on private Facebook messages, they all hate each other's guts. I've seen it. But yet, out in the open, they won't say that they really hate each other. And actually, they'll actually take each other out to lunch because they actually want to do a triangle, a love triangle, when they have three people come together. And so I invented something that I guess Scott Sonnen's probably going to send his lawyers to cease and desist me, but I'm going to invent a new thing. I'm going to patent it. And then I'm going to unpatent it because I'm just using regular English words. And that is triangular torque training. Ooh, the three T's like Triple H, W-E-E wrestling. Well, I have triple T. Triangular torque training. Ooh, cease and desist.
You know who doesn't put their weights away?
Olive branch my ass.
You know who doesn't put their weights away? All the young punks in the gym, because I used to work in gyms. They leave their dumbbells and plates all over the floor for somebody to trip over and get injured. They don't put their fucking dumbbells back on the rack, and they don't put their plates back where they belong.
Well, that's sort of like these kids that work at BJ's Steakhouse and other franchise places. They pick their nose, they go to the bathroom, they wipe their butt with toilet paper, they don't wash their hand, but yet, they're actually cooking the food, they're touching the salad with their hands, instead of going to locally owned restaurants that are highly nutritious. You might pay a little more, because the guy's got to pay his taxes, he's got to pay his wages, that's his family's income. And, he doesn't have any corporate support. And
it's a liability to leave the weights and plate and dumbbells and plates on the floor. It's a liability. These punks don't put it away. They never put. This is why I hate public, popular public gyms. There's so many. It's like going to a church. You're going to meet more assholes in a social. There's
a saying, James, the bigger the cross around their neck, around their gold chain, the bigger the hypocrite. If you see somebody wearing a big cross around their neck, run as fast as you can in the other direction.
I never cared for popular social organizations because people always talk shit.
Yep.
No matter what kind of a social organization.
And it's not inclusive. There's lots of cliques, James.
Oh, they're very cliquey.
Clear out the gym, let's talk business.
Yeah,
talk business? You mean clear out the gym of people who don't own gyms so you can network to get your next gig? I guess it really is all about getting the next.
But what right does anybody have to clear out someone else's gymnasium?
It's 90-degree weather. The host, who's a kind, humble man, bought everybody many bottles of cold water that he put in a big container of ice. And we're all dying.
Yeah,
clear out the gym.
But the man has a martial arts background. You notice the humility with people in the martial arts field.
Yes.
Yes. Now you have a question for the copper divining rods. Little mysticism here, folks.
Oh yes. Oh, wise in ancient copper divining rods. How true is an olive branch amongst people who actually hate each other and besmirch? I love the word besmirch because I learned that word from somebody. Besmirch one another behind each other's backs, and who also proclaim that there'll be no bridge for them to cross when that day comes that person wants to cross that bridge, but yet there's olive branches, even though there's talk about how dirty or unhygienic the other person's people are, or how ugly they are. But I guess they don't have pretty posters because they hire very expensive web designers. But if you're really successful, you don't really need to have a big web designer. Like if you're an NFL football player or a baseball player and you're having a baseball camp for high school kids or a summer camp for football kids, you don't need to have a fancy glossy thing because you have a record. Mm-hmm. When you go against Russian powerlifters, when you go against real athletes, when Ken Thiessen goes against real people, Ken Thiessen doesn't need to hire. Sorry, Ken, I'm picking on you. I love you, brother. I really do. I love you, Ken. But all due respect, but Ken Thiessen does not need to have fancy glossy. He actually makes his own training tools. He actually has his people, God forbid, climb sweaty ropes that probably cost $20 at the hardware store. But they don't have gold trim or painted fancy colors, but they attach when they go overseas and almost decapitize people in the gym. But again, James, I do want to remain anonymous because I do want these people to call us out. I would like to have a public forum with all this stuff. Well, because I will not stop this campaign of mine and yours. I'll do this for the next 20 years. I really want this to end. I want this to end.
It really is based.
It's sickening.
I don't know if it's ever going to end, but I know it's based on the exploitation of this wonderful ancient warrior form of training, martial art, and exercise tools by these carnival snake oil infomercial hucksters in the West that are just acting like car dealers. They're phonies.
Yeah, but I see kids in Africa playing soccer with bare feet, and they play soccer like with whatever. I don't even know how they even make soccer balls. They don't make they don't have money to buy soccer balls. Or in Brazil, Pele was poor, but he went to the World Cup.
Hey, listen, a man with Ken Thiessen's credentials, if he makes his clients train with ancient warrior Akara exercise tools that he makes himself, homemade, there's nothing shameful about a stone gada with a wooden pole or a PCV pipe or concrete Indian jories or climbing a rope or using a hoe.
Was Mike Tyson ever ashamed of his coach? That made him go jogging in sweatpants and a torn sweatshirt? No. Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali and all those people rose up.
Or you mean like when they run on the beach? They're actually
running? No, when they run in sneakers or sweatpants. They don't have to run in $150 Reebok
But that's
spandex pants,
but
to show Mike Tyson's cock.
but that's how
or his bulge.
That's how
Mike Tyson trained hard. Even Arnold, Schwarzenegger, and all those guys, they wore loose, shorts, and they had cut off T-shirts, and the only time they, when they got in the ring, they might have taken the shirt off, or in a bodybuilding competition, or whatever. Everybody's humble.
That's how.
Even when you see guys in a karate match or jiu-jitsu, they wear loose.
That's how the legends of bodybuilding trained in old beat up, torn sweatshirts and cut
but how come
sleeves.
certain Mace, how come Madonna with a bamboo handle's not good enough for Southern California clients? But Arnold trained in sweaty.
Right. They did not show camel toe and ass crack in designer lycra spandex workout tights. They did. Even the legendary women of bodybuilding wore rags when they worked out in hardcore gyms.
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno was always in. He had full sleeves that went right down to his hands on his sweatpants and his sweatshirt.
Even if
when he was trained with his father, that was a New York policeman.
Even if they were cut off, raggedy, torn, whatever.
Rocky Balboa in the movie Rocky, he wore baggy clothing. No, but yes, nothing's good enough.
No, but people that consider themselves elitists, they worry so much about their image because they worry about their rich hoity-toity.
Because they don't have any credentials.
They're fucking hoity-toity.
It's window dressing, my friend.
Yuppie cunts.
Website.
Yuppies that they train because they're worried about their fucking image. So they can't. Oh, heaven forbid they should make them swing a concrete gutter with a bamboo pole in it. Oh, that'll make them look bad. Because they don't have an ounce of humility in their body or respect for the ancient tradition or integrity. Their objective is no different than big retail over on Wall Street, duping people out of their hard-earned money. They are no different from an infomercial. They are no different than the big retail companies lying. A friend of mine, her stove went on the blink, and she had to buy a new stove. So she went out on one of those phony Black Friday special sales and bought a new stove that they claimed regular price, $700. No, regular price $800. Sale price around $700, something bullshit like that. I said, you believe that? You believe?
I do believe it. This is an evil world.
No.
Not the world of our grandparents.
It's fake. It's
of the
fake.
World War II generation.
I try to learn her something. It's a fake retail trick. The regular price. What they do is they jack up the regular price before they put it on sale. You're not really getting the sale. It's a hawk nose Wall Street scam.
Well, chocolate diamonds, James, are really ugly. A brown diamond, the color of my fecal matter. In other words, my poop.
But they call it chocolate.
Oh, wow, it's marketing. It's glitz. It's Neil Lane. It's Le'Veon. Le'Veon chocolate diamonds. Again, James, we're going to get a letter from a lawyer tomorrow. Cease and desist.
The Asian.
And from Vera Wang. When Vera Wang put the little blue
Vera Wang is probably married to some
diamond.
She's probably married to some Wall Street Jew for all we know. Vera Wang, just like the Asian that married Mark Zuckerberg.
I guess it's the same thing as a fellow that took someone's Mace class and has a pretty Singapore wife, and I forget his ethnicity, but anyways, it doesn't really matter. But I guess he's charging $600 a head because he took one class.
I hate to
And he's
say
traveling all over Europe and all over the Arab states,
I hate
the
to
Arab
say
countries.
it, but a lot of women, especially the younger generation, will go to bed with Satan himself for the sake of money. I hate to say it.
I mean, a cat belly.
Yeah, I'm so glad I don't have daughters nowadays in this day and age. But anyway, you have a yes or no question for the copper
Oh, I
divining.
did. It was about the olive branch. How true is an olive branch amongst people that really, truly, disingenuously hate each other? Like I can't stress the word hate enough.
Is this olive branch
olive branch for corporate capitalist reasons?
Is this olive branch that was sent out?
Alliance.
Is this olive branch that was sent out by a certain someone who detested these other people? Is this a phony olive branch because the person wants to do business?
Keep the gigs going. It's all about the gig.
Yes, the answer is a big fat yes by the divining rods. It is a phony olive branch. The people that accepted the phony olive branch that was probably well lubricated to go up their rectum, the people that accepted the olive branch, in
the public rant, I guess there was some masturbation going on or something.
Did they accept
we'll just say that because everybody knows what the issue is, but okay.
Did they accept?
Anyways, it's a weird little... It's a very weird world out there. Masturbation and
a certain
I don't really see how that's relevant.
Well, we have to tell the public what we're talking about. A certain someone.
No, we can't because I want to have some class. Because then we end up looking like the bad guys. We're just trying to expose what a crazy world this really is.
We're jumping all over the place, and people don't know what we're saying.
Well, they know. Trust me, James. The truth is revealed. I'm not
going to mention names. A certain someone who wants to make big bucks doing seminars, who wants to copy another man who is making big bucks doing seminars, was receiving lewd videos of men masturbating that she somehow turned them on, and she ranted profusely about how dare.
But there's lots of sympathy, in replies and now. These same people,
there's a lot of
I don't want to pick on this individual who was a victim, but all these damn yuppie commenters, oh, that isn't right, and woman this and woman that, and yeah. But listen. If I had my private parts bulged out, right, and I'm a middle-aged man, I'm sure. And believe me, when I go to powerlifting competitions, I kid you not, there are many, and this is on record, so I want everybody to know this. I'm not ashamed to say it. I get many Facebook messages about from women at these events that want to get together with me, and they know I'm a married man. They make these are middle-aged women.
So they're like Mae West.
Men on the stage.
They're like Mae West.
No, it's hero worshiping. I could be anything, I could be a rock star, I could be a singer, I could be a ballet dancer. And I'm sure ballet dancers get women calling them up. But that's all it was, is a bunch of guys who probably saw a girl. It doesn't matter who this girl is. So please forgive me who this person is.
No, don't forgive me. I don't have any remorse.
There's a lot of freaks in this world.
I don't have any remorse.
And they will get messages.
For exposing.
But that's the nature of the beast.
I don't care about exposing people. I don't apologize. I'm not mentioning any names.
I went to a party one time at a powerlifting competition in Idaho. I had a woman put her head on my lap in front of everybody at a barbecue. I tell you, all the invitations I get. I get invitations from ladies in kettlebell lifting saying, I got a boyfriend, but I also do this and that. Do you? You must get a lot of hits. Everybody flirts. Everybody flirts. You know what? We're all fitness people. Let's call it face. We all have egos. Yes.
Yeah, well, we're not all selfish.
We try to be humble,
we're
but
not
we're
all
not
selfish
humble.
bastards.
We're egotists. And if we're good-looking people, all of us athletes, male and female, we're going to get admirers. That's what happens.
Listen,
Again, I go back. Any guy who tells you that he goes to the gym to get healthy is full of crap. They go to the gym to impress the girls. From 17 years old to 75 years old. That's what we've been doing.
Even firemen have groupies.
Even firemen have groupies.
They all have groupies.
Everybody has a groupie.
They all have admirers and groupies. Listen, social media.
I fantasized about you last night. I came all over my fingers about you last night. That's just life.
Listen.
It means nothing.
This is why I spend limited times on social media. I go on Twitter because I have no drama there. I go on Facebook, there's a lot of drama.
Listen, James, I learned something at seminary too. They said when you're a pastor, they said this: if you're a pastor and you're fat, you have pimples all over your face, you're bald, they said that there's going to be a woman in your congregation, they're going to fall in love with you. Even if you're married with 5 kids. They say you got to watch out. It doesn't matter how ugly you are. It's just because you're at the center of attention. That's just
because you're
if you're a teacher, if you're a high school principal, if you're a tennis player, people are gonna.
Because you're in a position of authority.
Exactly. How many of these old, ugly Wall Street businessmen have girlfriends? Every single one of them has blank brown.
And they're ugly, and they're ugly.
The more Christian they are, the more of a hypocrite they are.
And they're ugly motherfuckers. Believe me, women will go out with the ugliest motherfucker because they have either
their credit card is beautiful.
Because they have either power, big bucks, or some sort of authoritative, like you said.
But I kind of took offense about that rant because people. You know, I'm not Brad Pitt, and I'm not Tom Cruise, but I get women always flirting with me online on Facebook privately, right? All the time. From the kettlebell people, yes, you kettlebell people, I got women flirting me all the time online, and with powerlifting, these are non-powerlifting women. I would never date a weightlifting woman because I like women that look like women with breasts and a nice wide rear end. I don't like muscular girls. But anyways, I got a little woman. It's just that's the way it is. It feels good.
Well,
when I go to Dunkin' Donuts.
Look at what they've done to ancient warrior fitness. They have made a circus out of it. Look at all this crap that all the stories we're telling, or the behavior of these people, the behavior of these men and women. They have made a circus out of these honorable ancient crafts. It's really despicable.
Yep.
But you're right. You're right. The women fall in love with either
the hero worshippers.
The bank account, the pastor is the man who's behind the pulpit. And he's giving his sermons.
He's fat, he's ugly, he's got pimples all over his face, but they fall in love with him.
And everybody is focused on the pastor behind the pulpit every weekend, every Sunday. So the women are like, ooh. You know, they're swooning. They're swooning over, what a beautiful sermon.
Or a policeman. Same thing. Cops get hit on all the time, too.
Because there are women who love a man in uniform, especially if he has a nice body. He's a man in uniform. Firefighters are like heroes.
But he's probably a wife beater too, James. You never know.
You never know. Alcoholic, wife beater, but the firemen save lives. They're heroes. They're real life heroes. They save lives, and the women fall for
big deal.
But the point is that
it's all about hero worshiping.
The commercialization of these honorable ancient martial arts is despicable, and it only seems like it's the people in the West or Western, either European, American, European, Caucasian persuasion there that seem to be into the bucks, doing it for the money. And
yeah, but some people won't do it for the money. They'll just do it for dinner and a cocktail.
Well, I noticed the ones that have a martial arts background are not rip-off artists, like the great Daniel Ramsey of New Breed Fitness. He has a martial arts background. Wonderful people. They seem to be wonderful, nice, charitable people.
Ken Thiessen takes care of high school kids and other people.
Yeah, we're not talking. But then on the other side of the coin, we have those that are charging $1,000 a head, which is highway robbery.
Yeah, but then they have little cliques or their favorites that, you don't need to charge a fee, but they'll spend an extra 2 days in a remote place that's not exactly Manhattan, New York, with Times Square. But I digress.
Listen, the point is that there are people that are popular in circular training, that do seminars that charge a lot of money, that are strictly in it for their own status and making money. They don't care about friendship. They have proven that they don't give a shit about friendship and about fellowship or engaging in a brotherhood. They don't give a fuck about anything but themselves, their own status, and making tons of money with a lot of filler in their seminar, a lot of filler, no education, no learning about the history of it, very little teachings. Hey, I'm sure that Jake Shannon got the 10 to 2 o'clock from Carl Gotch, and I bet Gotch learned the 10 to 2 o'clock from someone else. You know what I mean? Like, the 10 to 2, and somebody was clever enough to invent the 10 to 2 o'clock method of swinging with the guy.
Yeah, like 2,000 years ago. This, Carl Gotch might have done it in the 20th century, right? But I'm telling you, some Viking or some person, maybe in Asia or wherever, right? South America, or South Africa, who knows? The North Pole, right? Maybe Iceland. It had a 10 by 2. You know what I mean? So, oh boy, so sad. It's all about leverage, talk.
Yeah, well, the thing
is, in practice,
listen,
you gotta put your time in. Like someone says, you gotta do 1 million reps, and then you gotta pay your dues. That's how you learn.
Well, you gotta pay your dues, but I'm just saying that the people in ancient times, they just picked up a garter or a pair of jories and they swung it. And if they couldn't do it right, they picked up a lighter pair or a lighter garter. They didn't worry about the 10 to 2 o'clock and this and the...
We're trying to compete with a 25-pound mace or a 35-pound mace when they only learned it 2 months ago. And next thing you know, they got elbow spurs, they got calcium deposits in their elbows. Hello? And then use uk from, what's that, Dale Dugas or something down there in Florida? Uk. Oh my goddamn, oh my gosh darn, elbows.
Right.
You know what I mean? Uk.
Well,
or copper sleeves or this and that. Copper sleeves? Then you're doing too much weight. Everybody has different parents.
Right.
And you gotta, James, as you well know, you have to leave your ego out in the parking lot. Leave it out of the gym, right? I enjoy doing a 15-pound or 20-pound mace, and I love it. I weigh 220 pounds. Right. Oh, well, Jeff Zambello should be doing a 45-pound mace. You know what? I'm not going to visit those idiots who do use a 45-pound mace because they're going to go to the hospital, and it's like somebody smoking cigarettes. It's self-induced permanent injury.
Well,
I'm not getting paid $10 million. I'm watching the Dallas Cowboys right now. I'm not on the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, Kent Easton told me that MMA heavyweight fighter Jake Barnett, he only swings a 25-pound mace, and he's 275 pounds.
Right.
So you're talking about there's nothing shameful about swinging a lighter mace.
And nobody even knows what a mace is.
Most
it's
people.
Like, so what is everybody breaking their elbows for?
Listen, no people. The average person doesn't know about circular training, period. They just don't, because we're a small circle, a small flock, just like Jesus.
Well, yeah, but somehow or other, we don't. There's all these little cliques, and it's like somebody brags about they always have like 300 likes, but then when we do these live shows with truth and reality, because we're not hero worshiping or sucking cock with sperm running down our chins. Sorry, everybody. Oh, but I'm studying for a Master of Divinity. Yes, I am. I'm calling a spade a spade. Anyways, we don't get any likes. You know what? And this person took pride in that. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm going to keep telling the truth. I'm going to do 20 more years of these shows, several times per week. And I don't care, because you know what? It's the right thing to do. Period. It's like Harvey Weinstein with his casting couch. Nobody reported him. I'm going to report every single person. It's the right thing to do. And I'm going to be castigated. I'm going to be shunned when I go all these kettlebell events or whatever. I don't care.
Well, for those,
I will tell the truth.
For those,
these people will not make a buck. They will not extort unsuspecting, vulnerable people with all their Tony Robbins untapped potential. Right. You have untapped potential. But meanwhile, the same person who said, "Oh, I like the guy in Ireland," next thing you know, he's making fun of the guy's Irish brogue behind his back. We won't mention it because we want anonymity. But this is what I'm talking about. These same people, James, tell these unsuspecting, vulnerable people that they have untapped potential, but behind their backs they're saying, "Oh, well, he doesn't have mitochondria." Or, you know what I don't have? I don't have sore elbows like all you other people. And you know what? I got real gold medals that actually mean something. Okay? And a lifetime of memories. And I got 2 master's degrees, and I got a real job, and I run 4 companies. Okay? So I kind of do know what I'm doing with life. So, yeah, call me out. I want people to call me out, and I want people to call me on the telephone personally and tell me I'm full of crap, because I'm not full of crap. You're all a bunch of liars, and I am going to expose every single one of you. Every single one of you. I don't care if it takes me 20 more years. That's my purpose in life.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the word liars, because it was...
My diplomas are from real schools, like Boston University.
It was the lying that was
done... Suffolk University.
It was the lying that was done to us that is also connected with the people that are ripping off others, in combination, that made us decide, for those of you that are wondering what the hell we're talking about, there are charlatans in the fitness industry giving very expensive seminars, several $100s to $1,000 a person, and not really teaching much. Just like going to Tony Robbins.
You can't teach much in 4 hours. This takes months to learn how to swing a mace or a gun or Indian club.
Like,
you don't learn it in a Saturday
it's
afternoon.
Like going. It's like going.
If you charge them $50, James, I'm going to cut you off for a second. I'm going to put this in perspective. Here's the truth. If you charge somebody $50 for 4 hours on a Saturday to learn how to swing Indian clubs or swing a mace or whatever, right? That's fine. When you charge somebody $699 or $899 for a Saturday afternoon, that's not real.
Right. Now,
but if you have an 8-week video seminar, that's fine. Because over the course of time, and I say this with a calm voice, time, repetition.
You must have multiple workshops to verify the $1,000 a person.
Right.
Multiple.
Because all you're doing is paying for this person to take a plane trip, stay at expensive hotels, go out to eat, take an Uber car, have sex in their hotel rooms or whatever, without their spouse. I'm just saying, I'm not talking about anybody in particular, so don't get all defensive. This is what happens. Businessmen have sex in hotel rooms without their spouse. But that's what you're paying for.
Politicians do it too.
See, $899 a head. And they brag about it. Ooh, I'm charging $700.
You know that?
Texas.
Do you know that?
Yeah. Without making the all I heard was that I think I got $700 a head in Texas.
Do you know that a young female
$700 a head?
Do you know that a young female that got honored certified did not know anything about the history of the mace? Nothing.
But did she pay $700 a head?
I don't know what honor rips people off for. To be honest with you, I heard Dragon Door is.
What's worth $700? I got a lawyer. I pay $300 an hour. Sometimes, if I need a better lawyer, $500 an hour. Okay, but they're gonna keep me out of jail or out of tax court or whatever, right?
What's with all these pricey certifications? They're worthless. They have no academic value. All these certifications are worthless.
But what I'm saying is, James, if you're charging $50, it's one thing. If you're charging $800 or $700, again, the bragging, that's what I guess gets my ass. Okay?
Why are
$700 a head in Texas. And I guess they don't have Wi-Fi in Texas at a corporately owned franchise restaurant.
So these people have loads of money, no life to speak of. They're hero worshipers, and they believe that this person, like, they treat them like they invented circular training or any kind of physical fitness. They invented physical fitness. In reality,
so let's get to a reality check here.
Yeah.
Do you know? And I want everybody out there in the whole world listening to this. Do you know why you people are all paying $700 a head for these classes? Because people at your own workplaces don't like you, or people in high school picked on you. You have insecurities. And you think that by taking all these classes and flying 3,000 miles from California to the East Coast is going to help you with your insecurities or whatever, right? So that's why people don't like you outside this little niche that you're in. And that's why you're paying all this big money. So there's a little bit of psychology in there. And that's the truth. That is the God's honest truth. That's why these people are paying all this money.
And it's not
just people outside of the little unknown sports, because they can't do real sports. Like, they can't run a Boston Marathon. Okay? They can't climb Mount Everest. Okay? They can't swim a mile. They can't do a 100-mile bike race. They can't win in a tennis game. They can't win in golf. Okay? So, or martial arts. Like, if you're in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and you have a black belt, that takes decades to get, right? And then you become a coach.
Well, yeah, you have to have credentials.
Okay, but you don't pay $700 a head because people hate your guts and you get insecurity issues.
If you don't have a background, if you don't have credentials, then an individual has no right to be charging several $100
for a certification, a diploma. What is it?
to
Is it from Harvard University?
$1,000 a head, $800 a head,
Is
$600.
it from Massachusetts Institute of Technology or Harvard Law School? What is this? Where's the accreditation? Where's the accreditation for these certificates?
There's no accreditation. They have no accreditation. They got no. Their credentials suck. And they're
made up. It's like a fart in the wind that vaporizes.
You know what it is? They got a group of people with no life, hero worshippers with no lives.
That are not liked.
Kissing.
These people are unliked in the communities.
They kiss up to them. They give them a clever nickname like Mr. Circular Training, Mr. Universal Grand Poobah Imperial Wizard of Circular Training. Somebody gives them a cute nickname, and then all of a sudden it goes to the person's head.
Oh my
gosh. And their ego blows up, and they go, ooh, I could do international seminars now and get a lot of money. People will book me. Okay. It's not only it's not only
what a bunch of lies.
It's not only them. Yeah, meanwhile they don't have adequate credentials. It's not only them. But a lot of gym owners.
Even an iota of accreditation.
A lot of gym owners.
What governing body or state governing body certification at the state level?
Right.
By the Secretary of State or the Governor of a state accreditates these people. No one. The Board of Education does not accreditate these people. So what are these certifications really, James? Are expensive toilet paper. For $899 or $700 a head. I don't get it. I don't. These people did not play in the NFL or the NHL or the NBA for the Boston Celtics or the LA Lakers or anything. I don't understand it. Anyways, I gotta go. It's 10:21 and my time. It's 9:21 your time. God bless you, James. I love you, my brother. Thank you for teaching me about the truth. And most of all, James, and I want to tell this to everybody in the world, the most important thing you could give a person, any person, especially like an old person in your neighborhood, is your time. How many of these people that charge $700 a head shovel the snow for the neighbors, okay, with their untapped potential? With that note, I bid you all good night.
Well, somebody made a comment about you.
Okay.
All right. This guy named Mike Pede, P-E-D-E, says, can you ask Jeff? I get he is strong, but he has his stomach going. Why does he not lose the stomach weight and turn it into muscle? And I told him that was an older photograph of you, and you are very ripped now and in fantastic shape. So,
well, it's also from a lifetime of squats, too.
Squatting, yeah.
And I am who I am.
Yeah, he is a power lifter.
I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you for the comment. The only thing is, that's the sport.
That's the sport. A lot of power lifters. A lot of power lifters have a.
I'm not a bodybuilder.
Right, correct. A lot of them have a sizable midsection.
That's the sport.
And I just wish a lot of gym owners, many gym owners, start booking people with credentials for their whatever alternative gyms, MMA gyms, and stop trying to boost their own egos, especially if they don't have credentials. Now, if they have the credentials, then you are justified in charging an optimum fee for your seminars. Otherwise,
but I want to say thank you to Mike, because at least Mike T asked a good question.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for stepping up.
Okay.
I appreciate that. I want people to criticize us. Please call us out.
Yeah.
Please.
But what I don't like,
Thank you, Mike.
What I don't like is when we go live on the International Brotherhood of Polyvons, when we do a live Facebook chat, I don't like sneaky people that do the expensive seminars to slither in just to be nosy and hear what we're saying, and they don't say a word, they don't contribute anything. I
hope Mike also comments on my bald head, too. which I proudly shave. Yes.
Oh yeah.
And I do have. Tell Mike Teed. I also have a hairy back, and I have hair that grows out of my ears too.
No, you gotta pluck those.
And I got hair on my ass, so you can tell Mike that it goes very well with my big fat belly.
Well, hairy asses are hairy, ain't it? Hairy, ain't it? Yeah, hairy asses are common. You know, I mean, what are you gonna? And hair and the balls.
But you know what, Mike Teed? How many 53-year-old men look like I look like? So
that's true. There's a lot of decrepit-looking older men too.
53-year-old men, yeah. So, yeah, Mike.
Shave.
Yeah, I got a 38-inch waist, but that's okay.
How the hell do these guys?
I'm 53 years old. How old is he?
I don't know.
And actually, ask Mike Teed if he can get a hard dick.
Oh, I don't know.
Or does he need to take the little blue pills so he can fuck his girlfriend?
I don't know. I don't know.
Or does he have a girlfriend? Or does he like to suck cock?
I don't know.
But anyways, that's okay.
I don't know, Mike Pete. So I have no idea about him. But what about these guys that have their girlfriend shave their balls, their scrotum? How the hell do you shave?
That's all right. If a woman wants to do that, good.
How do you shave a scrotum? They should get a wax. I don't know. Anyway, listen.
Anyways, with that note, thank you, Mike Teed. At least he stepped up. I give him credit, though. I didn't mean to rank on him, but at least he's the only one who actually asked a decent question.
Oh, he says a shaved head is more aerodynamic. Mike Pete said.
Yeah. No, he's okay. I got no beef with Mike. Thank you, Mike. Like you stepped up and asked a question. I appreciate
I have
that.
no beef with Mike, but I have a beef with BJ Steakhouse. Ha 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 ha.
You mean people who pick their nose and wipe their butts and then cook in the kitchen?
Now, people that instead of asking someone who lives in the area where to go and eat and get a good steak dinner, they go and ask a man that lives 5 hours away, asking him where to go to get a good steak dinner.
Yeah. Anyways, God bless everybody out there, and I love you all, even the people we're trying to reveal the truth with. And we love those people, too. It's just that this is a misled world, and we just don't like people extorting other people.
Right.
And God bless everybody. I got to take off, Joe.
Okay.
I ain't get to sleep there.
And when we go live on Facebook, the divining rods will see more action. They didn't see too much action tonight, the divining rods. But, yeah, when we go live on Facebook, we'll take the divining rods out. So, anyway, have a good night.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.